Hey there, fellow pioneering spirits. How are you? What am I going to talk about today? I don't even know, but I was guided to come and talk to all of you because, again, there's an intense changing energy, like it always is. So, yesterday was Sunday, and I woke up to a very uplifting energy. I was so energized. I was guided to just start cleaning, throwing stuff away, like, my old college notes and stuff like that. I'm like, it's my past life. I don't need this anymore. And so many things that I kept seeing that really, I don't know why I still had them here. So when I was guided to clean, to purge, to throw away the old, at the same time, I influenced my mom and she started cleaning as well. So we saw how many old things were still here, and we were talking about the fact that even though we might have, threw away things before, the more you grow and evolve spiritually, the less things you need, the less density you need. So you think before you might have thought that this was okay, this you cleansed your best way, and then again, there's a new layer. This is how it is happening in our inner process, in our inner journey. We keep unveiling those new layers of purification, and sometimes they are accompanied with physical ascension symptoms as well, because the more density that we release, then these symptoms follow. They will physically discharge these old energies, built up tense energies, like these tensions, because we need our vortices in our bodies to remain strong in their unique power, in their utmost light resonance, or should I say radiance. So this was yesterday. I was just cleaning all day and I had so much energy. And then I posted on Facebook and I saw the replies of other people were kind of feeling the same. So many of them said, "Oh my God, I did the same thing. I did something similar." And then I said, well, I guess it's universal. Not just global, it really is universal because these energies that are coming in now are universal. And what's happening now is this apocalypse that so many people mention is not the great cataclysm, it is the great unveiling. And I want to speak a bit more about this, what's happening, because it really feels like there's this great splitting happening on Earth as we're going through these changes in the physical, because this is what I felt myself the first half of this journey, because we all all of us who are really connected to spirit, we felt that this year is going to be really intense and something special. We kind of had a feeling, but you just can have a feeling, but until you get there, then when you get there, you truly see, oh my God, this is what I've been feeling before. And it's so much more intense. Yeah, because it's felt. Before you might have a premonition or a feeling and you just this inner knowing. But then when you get to it, it's like, it really is there. It's happening. It's unfolding. Like these earthquakes now, here on Saturday night, there was another earthquake, in Italy that we felt as well here in Slovenia, and they just keep repeating themselves, in these periods of something like a week or a bit more. And then today I find out, yesterday there was another one in Turkey, and things just keep happening. And those people who are not awake, they just don't see it. They think it's something, that keeps happening. The grounds are shaking, because the cosmic activities, the solar activities are causing the earth to have different, how do you call it? I don't know. I don't know the physical term right now. I'll think of it later. It has a different vibration. The magnitude is different of that vibration. So the magnetic field is different. Anyway, things are changing, and all those of us who are connected, we feel sometimes, during these earthquakes, I feel so unrested, unsettled, and I have a feeling this is not fear, but something else. And then another earthquake happens, and I see that it was real. It was my inner feeling. I'm connected to Mother Earth, and I receive divine guidance from the cosmos, from your cosmic self, our I am presence. So this is what is happening, and this shaking, we're all literally being shaken up, is causing people to have so much life situations. And if you're not in tune with these new energies, you might get very upset, very angry, very dense, low energies coming up to surface right now. What was hidden before is becoming so obvious. And all those of us who are pure, we feel that. And when we are in direct contact with some of the energies that are really impure, we just can't vibrate. What happens to me physically, literally, I start shaking like this, and I start getting cold when I'm next to darker energies. And, certain people who really are more within the new age would say, yeah, if you're light, you can shine everywhere. You can just be whatever you are. And then, then I can say, okay, then I'll just go stay in the prison cell and, I'll just shine my light there. But it's not how it is. When you are in this path of ascension, the more frequently that you vibrate within these new energies, you're getting less density, you become more highly vibrational beings. And then, of course, your surroundings need to match that as well. Because what is happening now, the first half of the year was more like us building in our spirit, really growing in our awareness. But the second half, I feel, is going to be making these life changes, physical, tangible, real changes. We're going to have to be brave and really go through these changes that sometimes we might not like, might not seem pleasant, but we'll have to do them in order to truly go through these initiations. And they will be physical, because physical level, as I say, is the last level on this change, because this ascension is a physical ascension. So we'll have to go through them, and this is what these things are happening now. We had to build first strong, spirit. We had to raise our awareness. We had to become more and more self-empowered in order to deal with these things that are going to happen now. And a lot of people probably are going to be confused during these processes. This weekend I had this interaction with someone who is a very, very low level of vibration. I was really shocked because I wasn't exposed to such a vibration for so long. And I literally started shaking. I couldn't hold the vibration. I mean, I could be there, but it literally affected my physical body. And it affected my digestive system and everything. And I just see that this is what's happening. Some people are choosing this path of light and love, the path of ascension, becoming really in an ascended state, vibrating in an ascended state in the physical form. This is what this ascension is about. And some people are choosing the exact opposite. They like to hold on to the old, to those wounds, to pain. They don't even know what love is. A lot of people don't know what love is. So when we encounter these situations, because a lot of us will, because these are physical initiations and we have to go through these changes physically sometimes in order to see what others are still going through, who are in this level of awareness that might be very low. But this doesn't have to do anything with higher or lower. It's just how creation is. I was just watching these videos about soul evolution, introduction to soul age, and then something to do with infant souls, baby souls, young souls, mature souls, old souls, things like that. So when we truly get this, when we see things from a higher perspective, and when we see through the eyes of compassion, which is high understanding, we will see that no one is less or more, but we all have different paths. So a lot of us will have to cut the cords with these old energies. For instance, last year, me and my mother, we had to deal this with she had to deal this with her son, who's my half brother, and we had to cut the cords. The paths were too different. It's not about, if you're too light then you can shine. It's about us moving into new states of being. So this great person, Kara, who writes a lot about ascension in her ascension notes on her webpage, which I usually mention a lot, she always writes the same. She says, even our physical locations, where we want to live, things like that, to change, because our environment needs to match us vibrationally, and we need to be in tune with that, because our environment is just our extension, literally. So whatever you feel will always be, manifested and show to you in your reality. So there's no such thing as, those people who are very low in awareness will say, you know what, you have not gone through this or that, you don't know what pain is, you will have to suffer some more, because they're still in that awareness that they think that everyone has to go through the same thing in order to know something. A lot of people who are young or infant souls will choose that suffering in order to learn these basic lessons that they want. These are not lessons that are imposed to you. You just choose them on your own on a soul level. So the more that we are aware, the more we see that what is happening is now that this unveiling process is unfolding, the great apocalypse. So everything that was hidden before, even among some of individuals that we might have thought that were on a certain level, but then this true color is being presented to us now. The true picture is being formatted, because now we get to see the truth. Because of these energies triggering the deepest, the darkest, the deepest shadow within individuals. And 2 days ago, I think it was on Saturday evening, I was watching this video from this man who does amazing astro predictions. He goes really a lot into details, analyzing everything. And he said the same thing. He said, June is such an intense month. And eventually, he said, we will come to a point when there will be certain individuals, or you can see it more in like a global structure, the system. When we will come to a certain place within our awareness, within how we function in our lives, that, those who think that have power over us or wish to have that power, we will eventually have to just cut the cords and say, who are you, to speak to me that way, or to behave to me that way, or to have these expectations from me, because a lot of us have this challenge to go through this consciousness physically. So you might think in terms of knowing these things in the mental, but in the physical, the physical changes are always the most difficult for the people to make. Like, cut all cords with certain people in their life, to truly just pick their own path. For me, how it was, the situation in the family, how it was for my mother, she would be kept in that manipulative state because certain people will use these 3D things such as money, possessions, in her example was also grandchildren. They do that. They keep that. They want to influence you through that, which is manipulation. They want you to do as they would want you to do something. They want to keep you in that lower state, and they use these means of manipulation, whatever they are, it doesn't matter. So you have to know that it's okay for us to understand where these souls are at, where their journey is, but we also have to follow our own. And this is what is happening this year, major splitting, because it doesn't matter whether it's your family or friends or, situations and structures that you've been holding on for so long. But being true to yourself is what you're being really called to do this year, to truly move beyond that, to truly vibrate at that state and know that you deserve happiness. Know that you deserve this new path, that this is your mission, this is your purpose. Because some people who are so much in drama, so much in fear and pain and ego, because this is ego creates that. They're so much in the victim consciousness, they won't see no one else but themselves. So they may think that other people are selfish, but actually they're selfish because they can see past themselves. They can see beyond because they're so much in this wounded state, and that's all they see. They say no one understands me, but in fact it's them who doesn't understand themselves, so therefore they can understand anyone else as well. And they keep drawing this focus with their drama. They want this attention. They drain energy. A lot of them are energy vampires, and you can easily, if you're an empath, feel that, where you're going to start either shaking or feel very drained. All of us experience these energetic connections differently, but we feel them. We feel the change. We feel that this is no longer how our sacred space energy feels like. It feels different. It feels foreign. So this is when we know that this is outer energies influencing our sacred space. So during these times, it really becomes more and more obvious what is and what isn't. What is of the path of ascension, what is not, who is not. It's becoming more and more clear and apparent. So don't be afraid of what other people will think of you if you'll make these drastic changes sometimes, really, because in the end, it's all about you and your individual journey. Of course, many journeys. Many paths, different paths, one journey, but same, similar, one destination, which is, discovering our source, our inner source, and the source of our life within all that is. So this is what I wanted to talk about. A lot of this is happening. And when I talk to other people that I know, light family, I see that, it's true. What we were saying last year, a lot of us was saying that last year was kind of the awakening of the divine feminine, and this year the divine masculine is following. And towards the end of the year, all of us on this path are moving into union, which is true. It truly is felt like that. And we see that a lot of, especially male, doesn't have to be always like that. It depends on, also the energy. If you have more divine masculine energy still, if you still have certain imbalance, it really depends. But mostly a lot of men are experiencing right now that these 3D things that were, they were associated with before, or they were kind of like feeling they can connect to, or they have to connect to that in order to, live in this life, like money, possessions, family. For instance, you have met someone else, but you're still clinging on to the old and you can't let it go, things like that, or you can let go of the previous life situation, living situation, anything like that. This is all 3D. This is all physical. This is all physical form that is connected to the way we live our lives here on earth. And if we're clinging on to it, we cannot let go. So therefore, the new cannot manifest because we're energetically not allowing it. This is how energy works. So especially men are finding themselves at this point, whether they will follow the sacred feminine, they will listen to that inner hollow space, which is empty void, which knows all because it's eternally connected to spirit, or they will, cling on to the old, which is always full and full of clinginess, of the old, and thinking there's no solutions, there's only problems. But in fact, when you're in the fear zone, you will only see that there's just one solution. You'll be like, those horses like this, they put these things onto them, and you won't be able to see because love is all encompassing and embraces all. That's why in love, there's no problems, there are challenges, but even for challenges, there are various forms of solutions. There's so many solutions, but fear will only see one way, one path, and it will usually won't even be able to progress because of the fear. So remember, you can only focus on creating the new when you're ready to deal with these challenges. And when I was watching that video from that Mr. Astrologer, it was the same. He said, certain point will come, especially now in June, when we will just see that, these things might be very difficult for some people. But he said, if we won't deal with certain aspects of our lives, we won't be able to move ahead. We won't be able to move on. And if you recognize this as something that represents a major challenge in your life, like a major barrier that is preventing you to move into this path, remember that it's your perception of it, because nothing hindrances you. Nothing can ever do that. Only you can be your own obstacle. So the mind is such a powerful tool. When we think that there's this cage around us, that there's, we can move forward because of a certain situation, then we truly forget who we are. That's what we need to remember. That's why I've been speaking, like more than a year probably about this. That it's so important to remember who we are, because when we do, we know that we're infinite power. And during these times of the great apocalypse, which is the great unveiling, we know what to do. Because when we're tapped into our source, well, we have to remember it first, right? We have to live in that state. We have to vibrate as source. Then we're always guided. We always receive right data, right information, right directions. We know what to do. So therefore, how can we not be guided and protected? Because the source of all things knows everything. It's divine intelligence that is so omnipotent, that is, you can understand that great logistics, if you're not it, but we are all part of it. That's what it is within all of us. So we need to remember first. And in this great unveiling, there will be a lot of physical challenges for many people, but this will strengthen our spirit. This already is strengthening our spirit, because that's why most souls incarnate, in order to experience something physically, not just in the mental, just in spirit, thinking of something, This is where these lessons are imprinted within us with great intensity. That's why there's a choosing of incarnation. And these times right now, they're so powerful. It's kind of, at the same time, it's so challenging, but it's also such a gift to be here right now, especially when we can just share this light with others and infuse and influence each other with this great love that we're remembering, and anchoring more and more in our bodies every single day. So we have to become love right now in the physical. Within all these challenges, there are aspects of light. Sometimes we might fall in the victim consciousness and say, what does this still have to happen to me? I'm in the higher vibrational state, so why does this happen to me? It happens to you because you have chosen it, because you want this initiation in order to grow stronger in your Christed light that is within you. The Christed light is within everyone. It is the light of your inner sun, and that inner sun, the star, is within everyone. It's your I am presence. And that's what's happening. And this unveiling is showing who is made of the right clay and who is not, choosing this right now, which is okay. The journey of the soul is endless. And whether you don't go through that greatest upliftment in the times of the transition of the earth, you will go through it somewhere else, because there's infinite realms in the existence of all. Sometimes we're too much focused just on this tiny little dot rotating along this sun that is Earth. We forget that the creation is limitless, it's vast. So there is no such thing as leaving some people behind, leaving some souls behind. Everyone gets to choose because of that free will. We cannot force anyone. We can just be removed from that harsh energy, which is present in a lot of the people's lives right now. But there are different souls, for example, within different families. But you need to walk your own path. Physical family is a limitation as well. Money, possessions, physical, environments, family. These are all 3D limitations, because we all have, in fact, one mother and father, all of us. So, those beliefs like, oh, I have to follow this path because these are my parents or something like that. It's very limiting. Remember that. Remember you are. So enjoy your great unveiling. Know that this is an intense month. It truly is. It's already showing its teeth, whining and grinding, but it's all good because it's all for the greater good. It's all about the end result. And even that end result is not actually end result, because there's always cycles and there's always creation, always something new. Anyway, beloved pioneers, keep remembering and have a great week, everyone. Take care. Bye.